Make some noise for Laura Vandervoort.
Where do I go? Right here?
This one's on, I think.
Do I have to sit beside you?
No, you don't. You don't actually. The last one, Tom didn't.
Sit or stand?
No, yeah, we should sit maybe. Okay. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. So yeah, you spent some time in Hamilton. This is a very familiar place for you at this point.
It is, yeah, and I actually met you. It was in Hamilton when we did
Yeah,
that,
it was.
right?
Yeah, it was a little
Was
kind
it
of
Toronto?
like
I don't even remember.
on the outskirts, I think, in some abandoned
No, I'm really
warehouse. Yeah.
close to you.
Where are you
I'll
going?
come over here.
You want me to? Okay, then I'll go like.
There we go.
Okay, no.
There we go. Okay.
So, but you were literally just working before you got here. You had like a really late night, and then you showed up to the hotel for the convention. What were you doing before you got here?
Yeah, so I'm currently working on a show called View Wars for Netflix with Ian Somerhalder. And you guys might know him. He's on like a vampire show. So we were doing night shoots because it is about vampires. So I wrapped at 2:30 Saturday morning and then checked in here around 3:30.
Look at that dedication.
coffee.
All for you guys.
Yay.
Amazing. And then yeah, we met I guess a few months back on another film you're working on, Rabid. What can you say about that? It was a pretty for me anyway. It was a gory experience. There was a lot of blood, a lot of things.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what tends to be what I do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jigsaw. Yeah, we were working on a movie called Rabid, which is a Cronenberg remake from the 70s. I don't know if you guys have seen the original, but if you haven't, it's interesting. But we had the Saska twins, who are female directors from Vancouver, so representing Canada, directed that. And we had a female DP, which is a director of photography, female camera operator. So it was a really great female-empowered set. And we're really proud of what we did. It'll be in theaters next year.
And the horror genre has kind of been your home for the last little while, I find. But you're really kind of like, that's where you really kind of got your start, though. If we go way back to the OG days, right?
Yeah.
Little Goosebumps.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, you Afraid of the Dark, too? Were you not on there for like one or two episodes?
Yeah, I did 2 Goosebumps. Oh, 3 actually. And Are You Afraid of the Dark? Those were my first actual acting roles. I started out doing background work on Road to Avonlea, which is a Canadian series you guys might know. So Goosebumps was the first time I spoke on camera, and that got the bug for the gore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're a huge horror buff too, because every time we talk, you've like just seen like the latest scary movie. I find you just saw Hereditary. You had said what's been like a really good scary movie that you've seen lately that really stuck with you?
New one?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I love the old I like the old films because
Okay.
they're not scary anymore. We're so
No?
desensitized to it, I find. But Hereditary terrified me because I was home alone watching it. And that was
get
not a
you.
good idea.
Yeah.
And now, anytime, if you guys have seen it, anytime someone clicks their tongue, I'm like petrified.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
scary. It's
Yeah.
really. And how about like classics, like classic horror films? Like I know Halloween's coming up. Do you like kind of like to put a little movie marathon on? Like what do you go back to? What are those like staple classic horror films for you?
The Shining,
Shine. Oh yes. Yeah.
Exorcist. I guess Hitchcock isn't necessarily terrifying, but I love Hitchcock. Gosh, I mean, Hocus Pocus as a child was a favorite from Halloween. Yeah, I
There's
don't.
been so many great ones, and there's all the like the reboots now, and all like with the new Halloween. Is there like a franchise you would love to be a part of? Is there like a bucket list thing for you?
Well, it was Saw.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We
'cause
crossed it off.
I'd never done a feature film that was a horror, and when they came to me, I thought, you know what? If I'm gonna do one, that's where I want to start. Is the Saw franchise because it was doing so well and people love it, and Jigsaw was more of a psychological thriller. Our directors, the Spearigs, also twins. I have a thing with working with twins, apparently. Yeah. Did more of a psychological thriller. So I think it was a smarter version of the Saw franchise. But if I had to do another one, I don't know. Amityville Horror, another one of those.
Yeah, that's scared. Even the reboot of that years ago scared me too. Like
Yeah.
with Ryan Reynolds, that was such a great film.
Yeah.
And the horror genre itself, where like I said, you've been spending most of your time. And what is it about the genre that you think people just love so much? Like I guess people just love being scared, right? Is that a thing?
I mean, for me, I love being scared, and then I hate myself after the fact. Yeah. And I've got this technique when I watch scary movies, which is this. Plug the ears and cover the eyes. Yeah. So basically, I don't see any of the movie, but I just love being in the room for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also, if you watch them by yourself, I know it's scarier, but then people don't see you jump and scream.
Yeah.
When I watched Hereditary in a theater, there was a guy who actually like screamed during one part, really loud, and then everyone looks at him and laughs, and he's like, "Oh."
Embarrassing.
So that's the good thing about watching it at home.
But what was that movie, The Quiet Place? I love that idea of a psychological thriller because it really put the audience in the movie. Everyone in the movie was quiet watching it. You had to be. You don't want to be the only one reacting, so you're just terrified the whole time. They did a great job.
Yeah, and also not a movie you want to skip breakfast for or lunch, because when I watched it, there was somebody behind me that like their stomach growled the entire time because it's so quiet, right? So you're like,
yeah.
Can
or
someone
opening your candy.
Yeah, get this guy a granola bar or something. It's like, and in between it all, you started with the horror, and now that's kind of what you're doing now with V Wars, and then in between that, we had a little show called Smallville that you were a part of. You played, it was Supergirl? Supergirl, that's how you say it?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Have you guys heard of Supergirl?
Yeah, small character. Kind of similar to your
I think
hoodie
there was
there.
another one here too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and getting into that, there we go. And how cool was it to step into that role? Because here we are at Comic-Con, and this is kind of what that's based around. There's probably so many people cosplaying as your character. What's that feel like to kind of be officially a part of that world?
Well, it's complicated, right? Because I'm not the only one.
That's
true.
Yeah.
It's just nice to see representation of Supergirl on film and television. It's nice when it's little kids who are saying that they are me, not necessarily Supergirl. But it was awesome, and being a part of Smallville was my first forum into American television, and I was already a fan of the show. So working with Tom Welling, I had to keep my together because I was so starstruck by him, and then he ended up being wonderful, and it was great. And I did 4 years on the show right before we led into V, which was a series on ABC.
Wow.
Thanks, 3 people.
Is there a trick to making a cape look cool? Because I feel like it's maybe hard to pull off, because the cape can kind of look a little ridiculous at times.
Tanner,
Is there a trick?
I never wore a cape.
Oh, I get. What?
Yeah, so that was one of the issues on Smallville was we couldn't have the S or the cape, and Tom wouldn't wear the S or the cape. So I was pretty bummed because I was basically.
I guess you didn't. Yeah. Okay.
No,
That's right.
It was Kara Kent.
Yeah. Okay.
Before
That's
she
right.
became
Yeah, that's
in
right.
a way, but I was hoping by the end I'd get the cape. So. Little story, side note, when I went on to the Supergirl series to play Indigo for 3 episodes, no one was in the hair and makeup, the wardrobe trailer. I went in, her cape was hanging there.
Did you do it?
I may or may not have tried it on.
Amazing.
And then shed a tear. It was fine.
Yeah, I totally forgot about the cape, because I guess because it's been a while since I watched the show, but yeah, it totally led up to that moment and it never really got there.
No,
I think in my
mean,
imagination it happened because I wanted it to happen so badly.
And people have done great fan art and Photoshop of myself with the actual costume, so it's in people's minds that maybe I wore it.
That looks good, though. You should have got there, though. We should have got there.
Yeah.
Now, if you could cosplay and come to a con, is there something that you'd like to do? Like, what do you think? Would you maybe relive the dream, or finally live the dream and wear the cape and show up at a con? No.
No, I'd probably be Deadpool.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Or Black Widow.
Yeah, amazing.
Or Catwoman. I've always wanted to play Catwoman after Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah.
I think we're due for another Catwoman film at this point, aren't we? I feel.
Yeah, you guys want to put it out there on social media.
Let's do that.
I mean, I'm available. So
Let's start that.
I put the costume in my closet.
And also, too, you had a little part on a film called Ted, which I thought was hilarious. What was it like to work with a crew like that? Seth MacFarlane, an amazing, genius writer. How fun was it? Hard to keep it together on that set? Because some of the scenes that you were in were probably challenging to kind of like keep the composure.
Yeah, well, Seth, I'm actually friends with Seth, so he's a brilliant, talented human being in general in every facet. But for me, meeting Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
I mean, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch was everything once upon a time to me. So working with him was pretty great, and he was very, very nice. And what they would do with dialogue is Seth would kind of whisper in Patrick Warburton's ear or in my ear, so the other actor wouldn't know what he had just said to the person you're playing across from till they roll, and then they say this crazy thing that Seth came up with, and you have to improvise and respond to it. But most of the time, you end up just cracking up, and you can't get through the take because it's so funny. but they had a bunch of other storylines in Ted that they ended up having to remove from the movie. So I don't know if it ended up being in the extras, but there was a lot of really hilarious stuff.
Yeah. Did you sing Good Vibrations at all on set? Or did you hum it? Or?
It was in my head the whole time.
Is that his ringtone? Is that a rumor?
It should be.
It's
mine, actually. No, it's not.
We should test that out later. All right, so I know we have a ton of fans here with fan questions. It's really hard to hear, though, because of all the, we have Star Wars music back there and lots of noise. So if you put up your hand and when I throw it to you, stand up and be as loud as you can. I'll try to repeat it back, and let's see what we can do. So your hand was up first. So let's start with you. What's your question?
Great.
Working with the cast on Supergirl.
Yeah, I think I told some of you at the table that asked me that question. When I was first approached for the show from one of the producers, I said, I'm so glad she has her own show now. If I do come on, I'd love to look different and be a villain. So that's when Indigo came about. Because I thought it would be a little strange for Melissa to have me on the show, and I wanted to make sure everyone was cool with it and comfortable. So that was an awesome way to appear in it. And also it was just great that, Melissa was awesome and she's doing an incredible job. And we had Helen Slater on the show as well, which is a callback not only to the original Supergirl, but to Smallville because she played my aunt. So it was a great experience. I'd love to be a part of it again.
Cool. All right, let's go over to you in the Venom hoodie. Yeah, when the new series was being made, were you ever maybe approached for the new show?
Well, no. But I was also working on Bitten at the time. I think we were in season 2, and I was contracted to Bitten for several years. We only did 3 seasons, but when they were casting, I was on a show, but I also didn't hear from them. I think they made the right choice in that they went with a new actor because it was a new show, and they didn't want to blend 2 shows together. Because it wasn't necessarily, how Smallville would have Aquaman and then they do an Aquaman series, and it wasn't always the actor from Smallville, and if it was, it didn't always come across the way they wanted it to because everyone's just thinking Smallville. So they wanted to create their own brand of Supergirl, and I think it's great that they do the recall with all of us coming on as different characters. Thank you.
Very cool. All right, let's go over to you in the Robin hoodie over there. Yeah, go ahead.
So the question...
I'm not going to repeat that one back. Go ahead.
The answer is yes. No. If I was because I was starstruck by Tom, did I want to kiss him even though I was his cousin? Yeah. No, but we did have to be careful with some of the heart-to-heart scenes as cousins that it didn't come across inappropriate as cousins because there was a lot of I love you and I'm here for you and close quarters. So we just had to make sure it didn't seem odd. Although I will tell you, when I auditioned for Supergirl back in the day, I did not know she was a cousin. So I thought, hey, this is my moment. But then, yeah, we're related.
Okay. God, that took a turn for a moment. Okay, you had a question, right in the front. Go ahead. A Smallville reunion, and would you take part?
I would. I'm not sure they ever will do a reunion. I'm not in touch with the creators or the producers necessarily, so I'm not sure. Although we finally got Tom after a lot of annoyance with him to start doing conventions. Whenever I saw him, I was like, God, you gotta meet the fans. It's been way too long. They need to meet you. So now he's doing a bit of a Smallville tour with Rosenbaum, and I'm going to be joining them next weekend in Paris. So it's the first time the 3 of us are going to do it together. So I think that's the closest thing to a reunion we're going to have. Yeah.
You never know. Like sometimes I know Entertainment Weekly likes to get the cast together once in a while and do like the photo shoots and stuff. So maybe it'll happen.
I don't know if they'd ask me to be a part of that though. I mean,
Why?
I only did the last 4 seasons.
Why not? You're part of it.
Well, okay.
I mean, I feel like you should be a part of it if they bring everyone back, right? There we go.
Yeah.
See?
All right.
Okay.
We'll let Entertainment Weekly know.
Yeah, let's do a reunion photo shoot. Let's get
Yeah.
you there. We'll make the calls.
Thank you, Tam.
Okay, no problem. Okay, let's go over to go ahead. The effects, practical or CGI?
On Jigsaw, a mixture. When I'm in the silo and there's weapons falling down, we had some visual VFX falling, but we also had saws that they would drop in front of us at specific places so that it wasn't near us, and they weren't sharp as far as I know, but I didn't try to, touch them. There is a shot where I come out of the silo, I roll out of it, and I come right up to a pitchfork. That was real. And we did do a stunt up on the motorcycle, if you remember, where the rebar through the motorcycle wheel. Permanently scarred myself doing that. I had a lot of fake blood for that scene all down my arm, and our directors said, can you put the rebar in hard, like just jam it right into the wheel a little further in. I said, well, if I go that much further, my arm's gonna probably hit the bike. He was like, don't worry, I'll be fine. Cut to, I'm screaming through the whole scene anyways. I feel, you can't really see it, I feel something go through my arm. And they're rolling and I'm screaming and there's blood. And we cut and they brought me down from the rafters, and I said to our stunt coordinator, I think I'm bleeding. She's like, yeah, I can see that. No, I said, no, realistically, I think I'm actually bleeding. So they took me into the prosthetics trailer to remove the fake blood to see what was actually happening. We had to use, not acid.
That removes the whole arm.
Yeah,
the acid,
basically it was a product that they had to because it was
like an alcohol, like a rubbing alcohol.
Like an alcohol, yeah, but it was coated for waterproofing, so they really had to rub it off. So they're rubbing an open wound with the alcohol, and then we found it, and it was wide open. You could see like the white tissue, like fat tissue. So it ripped right open. They just kind of bandaged it up with a Superman bandage, and then put blood over top of that so I could go back to work. And then I went and got a tetanus shot, and and I didn't need stitches, but I have a permanent scar. I went way off track with that story.
No, it's good. It's great.
But yeah, so a lot of real stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have like you're like permanent reminder of every project you've worked on now. There we go.
See it. It's
Good.
tiny.
Any other marks, scars from other projects?
My soul.
Your soul? Okay. Oh, wow. Let's just end it there, I guess.
Sorry. That got dark real fast.
Wow. Okay, we have more questions. I think you had one right in front. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, go ahead in the hat. Yeah, go ahead.
What's it like flying in Smallville?
Oh.
Awesome. The first week I was on set, they had me doing some wire training, so I knew how to fly. And they have two it basically looks like a diaper. It's the first time they tried to do it. And it's a harness that goes over your lower half with a pick on both hips and one on your backside. And so they taught me how to fly, just staying on points, and then how to tip and take off. And it was a lot of fun. And then to actually get to do that on camera was pretty amazing. And now I can do any wire work training that's required because they did such a great job training me for that.
There's like a lot of skills that come into playing certain roles and certain scenes. Anything like ridiculous you ever had to learn for a scene that you're like, I can't believe I'm actually having to like practice this? Does it happen? Because I know there's like sometimes we're talking about it with Ryan the other day, yesterday, and he was saying that when they were shooting stunts and they had to like quickly run and put their helmets on the motorcycles, he said even though it looked easy, we had to like literally practice it like 50 times because it's like it's really challenging to like nail it. So is there anything like that for you where you've been shooting a scene and? I mean,
I've done a lot of fight scenes, hand-to-hand combat with weapons, and those take on Bitten we had so many fight sequences. We'd shoot Monday to Friday, and then Saturday to Sunday we'd rehearse the fight sequences and then shoot it the next week. So. I haven't had to do anything crazy. I think the scariest thing for me is getting my head cast done for shows because I'm claustrophobic.
Wow, that's tough.
Have you done that?
You do the straw? No, I've never done it.
You need to do it.
I've watched somebody get it done. They put like the stuff up your nose and they try to like keep the straws in there so you breathe.
No one's ever given me the straws to breathe.
How do you?
That might be why I was terrified.
You hold your breath the entire time?
No, you have it. The holes for your nose are open to breathe. Everything else is covered, but they use the cast that they use for it has like a powder. So when they put it on, it gets up your nose, and then your nose starts to close up, and you panic, and they can't take it off quickly. because they have to cut into it.
Yeah, and it's funny when they do those things, they keep everybody so calm around you. Did that happen with you?
No.
Because like when we were doing it, it was like everyone has to be calm, like no one make any sudden like noises, because like you can if you're stressed out in that situation and you elevate your breathing rate, it can get really scary.
You start to get very hot and you panic and your heart and all you can do is wave, and then they don't know what you want. It's terrifying.
The worst thing I ever had to do is I had to throw popcorn up and catch it in my mouth, and it took me like an hour to land it, to actually do it.
Really?
It's the craziest thing I've ever had to do.
Did it hit you in the eyeball a couple times?
Oh, lots of times, yeah. And it looks good at the end. It looks like I did on the first try, but...
Yeah, everything takes many takes.
That's the extent of my stunt work.
We'll get you to do a head cast at some point.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we had another question I saw, right in the front. Sorry, go ahead. Which DC shows are you watching, if any?
I'm sad to say I'm not.
Oh.
I know, gasp. Yeah, no, I've been very into The Marvelous Miss Maisel. Jack Ryan was incredible. But I haven't been watching the DC stuff. I don't know if it's because I've been a part of it that I can't watch it without going, oh, there's a guy standing off camera there, and there's the wire. Like, it takes you out of it a little bit. And if you know the actors as well, you want to support, but you're also, it's just strange. I'm not sure. Is there one that you'd suggest I try to watch?
I've seen them all, so I don't know. I like Supergirl, I like Flash, I like Arrow,
Everything.
crossovers are amazing.
Right. Batman too.
How about the films? Have you caught up on? Did you watch Wonder Woman, like the film?
Yeah,
the
of course
DC
I did.
Justice League, any of that?
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman, just stuck with that. That's the good place to leave
I mean,
it.
I think they did a great job empowering women on that. Everyone in the audience cries, and I was so proud. I had goosebumps the whole time. Yeah.
It's cool, and it's kind of cool that in a way, like Smallville kind of came before all that. So maybe they got it started. You know?
I'm gonna say I got it started.
I think you did.
We'll
give it to you.
Yeah, thank you.
We're going to add it to your IMDb trivia now.
Thank you.
Started the empowering superhero movement. You're right there.
Yeah.
Okay, we had another question in the front. I saw another hand. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey. Any series I've been in that didn't continue that I wish had?
All of them?
All of them. Probably, I had the best experience with our Bitten cast and crew. They're my brothers. They'll always be family to me. We all love each other. So that would personally would be the one, but V as well, because I know the fans really, really like the show, and we really only did one season. And to this day, I still wish we could have come back because the cast was great. And we ended the season with myself playing my evil twin. So to play two characters the next season, I was so looking forward to that. And within a day, I got a call saying the show's now a mini-series. And then I got a call an hour later saying we're canceled. And then I got another call saying, oh, no, we're doing another season. And it was like a roller coaster. And then it was just done. So, yeah, Bitten and V.
Cool. Okay, we had another hand I saw towards the back. Yeah, I guess that was you. Okay, go ahead. More voiceovers with Captain Canuck, is that what you said? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I've done a little bit of voice work, like you said, Captain Canuck. I played Mary Jane in Edge of Time, Spider-Man. And I always enjoy doing voice work. I'd love to do more of it, especially Blue Fox, since it is Canadian and Captain Canuck all the way. So we'll see. Right now with V-Wars, I'm not necessarily as available, but hopefully if they ask me to, I'd definitely be there. Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Considering you've done so much, is there ever anything that someone brings to your table that really surprises you, that maybe you forgot you were a part of, or anything like that? What's anything like that? Because you always get you probably get a lot of Smallville stuff and a lot of, but anything that ever just pops up once in a while that you're like, oh yeah. Anything at this con?
No, but this is sort of the first con that I've seen a lot of Jigsaw stuff, which is really nice to see. It's different. And
did you not sign a poster I saw yesterday?
Yeah,
a
huge
poster?
one.
That's really
great.
cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm surprised by stuff. I'm like, oh, I forgot I did that, because I tend to remember,
Some people, I think everyone remembers, but people pretend they forget because they just look
Right.
cooler.
Yeah.
They're like,
Oh, I didn't
yeah.
remember doing that.
I'm
Whoa.
just so busy. I just
Yeah.
forgot I did that.
It's nice when people come up to the table and say instant star, because that's like a true fan.
Oh,
That's a long time ago. But one of the weirdest things I've had to sign was at San Diego Comic-Con. Someone had bought my Supergirl boots and tank top and shorts and belt. It was the whole actual outfit. I guess they had a wardrobe sale that probably shouldn't have, but someone sold it. And it was because it said my name inside, my character. I remembered seeing that every single day. Wow. So I signed the boots. And actually someone had my bra from Ted.
What?
Yeah, that was what I said. What? I don't know how they...
Yeah.
And my size chart from a wardrobe fitting with all of my
Whoa.
sizes.
That's very strange.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
there are places the props end up. Like there's like props auctions and stuff all the time.
Right, but that's like chairs,
that's
not your bra.
Yeah, that's a little much.
And
I think they actually, for the record, any of this DC stuff now, they just like incinerate most of it so it doesn't get out there.
Yeah.
I know with Shazam, they like just put it all in trucks and we're like, okay, and no one's gonna see that again.
safety deposit box.
Yeah, exactly. Anything that you actually got to walk away with from set? Did you take any like little souvenirs after, say, like Smallville?
Yep, Smallville.
Obviously not the boots or the belt.
No,
or,
obviously not.
Or your bra from Ted.
No, yeah, that's long gone. Who knows what's happening to those right now? I was like the guy that had my size chart. I'm like, at least you could have bought me some outfits. You know my size.
Yeah.
But yeah, I walked away with my Krypton bracelet from Smallville. That's in a container at my parents' house, and a Kryptonian crystal. Bitten, when they were shutting down Stonehaven, I took the tea kettle. I don't know why.
Sure.
I can't even use it. It's not real. And I took a couple books from Greg Brick's character's library.
That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, and the couches. I took the couches.
What?
Yeah.
Are they?
And Elena's bed. Why am I just remembering all of this?
You have all the furniture?
I have Elena's bed in my basement. It's the guest room. So if anyone wants to come and hang out, you can sleep in Elena's room. Done.
Wow. And then most of your stuff.
And Grayston will be in the bed if that's okay.
Wow. So how did you get a couch off of set? You just like backed a truck up one day and then we were like, all right.
Like, I'm taking this. They're like, do you know how much that's worth? And I was like, do you know how much I sat on it? It's mine.
Wow. I understand like getting the kettle and the bracelet out, but I mean, to get a couch out, that's another level.
I mean, we did pay for it, but not full price because I was like, guys.
I thought it was like an Ocean's 8 thing where you just like a big heist to get the couch out.
Yeah, that would have been great. That actually would have been a better idea now that I think about it.
Would have been free too.
Yeah. I didn't pay though. Someone else did.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then most of the other stuff you said is at your parents' place. It's just like it's like a storage locker at this point over there.
Basically, yeah.
Wow.
Because I travel between U.S. and Canada, and I don't have a permanent place here right now. So my parents are constantly like, "Can we get rid of this yet?" You know, I keep everything that you guys give me at conventions. It's all in my parents' house for when I eventually have my own place in Canada.
Yeah, that's right. You gotta get back here.
Yeah.
You gotta get back here.
Yes.
All right, we have some more audience questions, so let's go over to you. Yeah, right. Go ahead. A franchise you wish you could be a part of?
Suicide Squad.
I mean, if you stick around, they tend to shoot those things in the area.
I know.
Just saying.
I mean, does Harlequin have a sister
I mean,
or
we
an
could.
evil twin? I'll be Poison Ivy. Done.
There you go.
Where's the contract? I'll be Catwoman.
Yes, that's
I mean,
right. Catwoman too.
I would love to play, you know, any of these awesome female characters.
I think we should also start that petition online too. You guys are gonna be very busy later with all these Kickstarters and things we're gonna have to start.
Yeah, get on there.
Do it. Okay, we had some more questions. I saw another hand. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, over to you. What was it like trying to portray turning into a werewolf for the first time?
No one prepares you for that in acting school. Let's see. The first time I had to transform into a werewolf was on Cherry Beach at night in the cold. And actually Michael Xavier also, and he was naked in the woods doing that. I felt for him. But there was no format for how to do it. And the vocals, you had to be careful with how those sounded because it could go in a different direction. So, there's children here, but
Imagine the hiker walking by in the woods at that point and just hears that.
Yeah, someone's having fun.
You're like, wow.
Yeah.
Each to their own, I guess.
Yeah. I didn't know how to even verbally say to our producer, JB Sugar, how should this come across? Is it painful? Is it exciting? He said, think about giving birth. I was like, I haven't done that, so give me something else. So I just thought about like a really bad stomach ache. That's all I had. And it was just the physicality of it. You had to make sure that it looked proper, bones breaking, contorting in limbs, and yeah, so it was a different experience, and we didn't have to do too much of it after that. So yeah.
It's funny you say that because I heard if you ever have a baby at a hospital, doctors will tell you it feels like transforming into a werewolf.
There you go.
What they think. What's it going to feel like? They feel like transforming into a werewolf.
Like that time, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least
it's
I'll be
very
prepared.
Interchangeable.
In the hospital, I'll know exactly what's happening.
Yeah. Now you're going to be prepared for the end game.
Yeah.
Okay, we had a couple more questions. I think we got to wrap it up. So let's go. Yeah, right to the. Yeah. Okay, we'll go over to you, and then we'll go to the back. So go ahead. Movies or TV? What do you prefer?
Both. And the reason for that is I love to really get to know a character. So television is great if it's a series. You really get a chance to sink into their skin and figure out who they are. Get to know your crew and your cast. It becomes more of a comfortable environment when you have several episodes or seasons with people, and the character becomes yours. You understand them, you sleep them, you eat them. You don't eat them, but you know what I'm saying. So it just becomes more a part of who you are. Like, I physically still miss Elena. And I think about her a lot. And I'm sure a lot of actors feel that way when they live in a character for 3 years and they speak like that character. And film is great because you want, as an actor, to try different things. You don't want to always be the same character for year after year. In between jobs, you want to go do that movie or that guest star that's completely opposite of who you've been for the last year. So, for instance, Jigsaw. When the directors asked me to be a part of it, I said, can I shave my head? They were like, why? I said, I just want something different. And they said, how about you dye your hair? And I was like, done. I was playing a victim as opposed to the superhero or this werewolf. I was a human victim. So that was a specific choice for me to be different. And I want to keep doing that. I want to do more romantic comedies. I want to do a period piece. I want to do a Western. So film gives you the opportunity to try different things, and it's like a month shoot or 2 months, and you can move on. Whereas television, it's great if you're truly in love with the content and the character because you can evolve with them.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, we have time for maybe 2 more quick ones. So I thought I saw, you right at the back. Let's go over to you. Oh, piece of advice that stuck with you throughout your career? Or maybe advice you have for people who maybe want to get into the business, anything like that?
Let's do both of those.
Oh, let's add to that. Yeah.
This is a Canadian audience. Yes, most of you are Canadian. I don't know if any of you are from Newfoundland. One person. Yes. Do you know who Gordon Pinsent is? Yeah.
Wait, are you related to him?
Yes. So Gordon Pinsent is a somewhat well-known, incredible actor from Newfoundland who is my grandmother's cousin, long story short. He is the reason I got into acting.
He's a legend if you don't know him.
A legend, yes.
Legendary actor.
And when I got my first job on Goosebumps, he came to set to visit me. And I was 13 or 14. And he rolled up in a golf cart on the studio lot and sat down. And this is the advice he gave me. It won't be verbatim because I'm old now. But it was basically stay true to who you are. Don't let this business get to you in either direction in that you think that that's all you are and you get a big head. But also don't let it be the end of who you are. It just... Remember where you came from, family first, priorities. You get a job, you do the job, you do your best work, and then go home and don't change. So that's all that's really been important to me. That's why, you know, I'm always in Canada. I want to be a Canadian. I'm proud of what we do here in film and television. And we were pen pals for years. He would just write me letters ask me how it was going. So my goal, actually, I'm developing a movie right now to work with him. That's
awesome.
been a
Very
goal
cool.
forever, yeah.
Wow. You got an extra part in there from somebody?
Tanner, there is always a part for you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm holding you to that, by the way.
But you have to get a head cast.
Okay. You know what? I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll do it. But
Good.
just only if I play like, you know, spa music so I can keep calm because I don't want to.
No, I'm gonna like play metal and scream at you.
And then everyone will
the whole
dance around me and I'm
time.
going to get stressed out and
Yeah, and
suffocate.
just poke at you.
Great.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great
and we'll
time,
videotape
Laura.
it and you guys can all watch.
Great. Look forward to that. All right, well, I think we're pretty much out of time, guys, so we got to get you back to your table, but you're going to see Laura a lot more in V-Wars and, of course, Rabid hitting the big screen and sometime next year. So give it up one more time for Laura Vandervoort, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for coming out to see me. I'm going to head back to the table. I think I've got like 10 to 15 minutes back there, so it's your last chance. You want to come get a free hug or whatever, or a high five.
Thank you for watching the Convention Junkies coverage of the 2018 Hamilton Comic Con. Please like, comment and subscribe to see more, and let us know below what you think of this video. If you would like to help us with future projects, please visit our Patreon page.